Hello, folks. Dustin Zarni here, Democratic Elections Commissioner for Onondaga County, and welcome to Primary Day, Primary Edition. Primary Day is tomorrow. I'm recording this on Monday night. Some of you may not see this till Tuesday morning, but Tuesday is Primary Day in New York. It's our June 23rd primary, and sorry. We have had an active primary season so far. So let's go over who's on the ballot. Well, maybe not the candidates, but the positions that's on the ballot. First, if you're a Democrat in Onondaga County, no matter where you are, actually, if you're a Democrat, no matter in the state of New York, you have an opportunity tomorrow to cast a vote. In Onondaga County, all throughout Onondaga County, is the state comptroller primary that is happening, and then in the city of Syracuse is the councilor at large primary for the for the Common Council, for Syracuse Common Council. And then if you're in AD 129, New York Assembly District 129, which is Geddes, Van Buren, and about 3/4 of the city of Syracuse, everything but the super inner city and the east side, that is also having a primary. And then if you are in County Ledge 8th, which is the west side of Syracuse going up into a very small portion of Geddes, County Ledge 15, which goes from Sedgwick all the way around the southern tip of Syracuse into the university area, or County Ledge 16, which is in the inner city of Syracuse, you also have opportunities to cast a vote today or tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. And also, if you're in the town of Pompey, Election District 6, and a Republican, you can vote tomorrow, too. There's only about 270 of you, and I doubt none of you are watching my podcast. But in case you are, all of you have choices tomorrow. Before we get into tomorrow, I want to kind of recap early voting. We've had about 2,900 and I believe it was 58, but around that. I'm sorry, 3,200. I'm sorry, 3,258 people early voted throughout Onondaga County, and that was early voting. It ran up until Sunday, and it's done. Can't early vote anymore. But that 3,258 is actually a pretty big turnout for a primary, for a Democratic primary. And if you compare it to the Democratic primaries in 2022, which was the last midterm year, remember we had a June and an August primary, it was actually more than both of those. And it was only slightly less than our primary in 2024, which was a presidential year, which usually means higher turnout. So the fact that it was 90% of that really kind of means that this was a pretty enthused early vote. Does that mean that we're going to have a large turnout tomorrow? We don't know. And the reason we don't know is because we don't know whether this is people just finding out about early voting and deciding to early vote, who normally would just election day, as I do in my tagline, early voting is growing. That's because more people are finding out about it, more people are enthused, more campaigns are using it to get their votes out. So I don't think we can say, oh, it's going to mean a higher turnout. It's probably going to be a fine turnout. I think it's going to be enthused, especially in Assembly District 129. There's a paper article today. Some numbers were put in it. These are statistics. I don't really argue statistics because they are the statistics. The AD 129 is the one driving the turnout for this primary. It's about double the rate that the other ADs are, or maybe even more. So really, that's just the facts. That being said, we've had a good early vote. Mail balloting, we have about 1,400 mail ballots back. That is not great, considering the other primaries. We had around 3,000 or so back. So you have this early voting is higher, mail balloting is a little lower. So now we have a lot more time for those mail ballots to come in. A lot of them will come in tomorrow. A lot of them will come in on Wednesday, the day after Election Day. So we're really going to do very well in that, not very well, but we're going to add to that number. So, but those, about 1,350 of those 1,420 that are in are going to be part of our election night results. So let's get into primary day. 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Polls are open. Longest polling hours in the nation. And it's going to be we also have all 141 polling sites open throughout the entire county. So we are putting out, just like it's a regular election, or it is a regular election, but just like it's a major election, and it is a major election. So you don't really have any excuses not to vote. If you're not sure now on election day, unlike early voting, you can't show up to any polling place. You have to show up to your assigned polling place. You should have got a card in May telling you where your assigned polling place is. If you're not sure, you can go to onvote.net, look yourself up, and find your polling place right in the voter lookup screen. So do that. 141 polling places open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. There is no more chance to get an absentee ballot. That had to be done today. There are court orders, though. We will have judges standing by. Judges can issue orders for absentee ballots, and judges can issue orders for regular balloting. That is, that is an option available to you. If you've moved and haven't updated your address, you can go to your new polling place and vote by affidavit ballot. If you don't appear in the book, give us a call. We'll tell you what your options are, but you may have to vote by affidavit ballot, especially if we got a piece of mail returned before June 1st. You may be inactive. That doesn't mean you shouldn't vote. That means you vote by affidavit, and we will count your vote. So if there's any questions, any wishes tomorrow, give us a call. 315-435-VOTE. Again, I'm going to keep repeating certain things. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you're in line by 9 p.m., you will get a ballot. I do not expect lines tomorrow. But, and one of the things I'm very happy with is that in my time as elections commissioner in Onondaga County, save the presidential election in 2020 where early voting had a 2-hour wait, we really haven't had a lot of waits in my county, and I'm very happy with that. Now results will start at 9 p.m. at onvote.net. Don't call me. I'll tell you to go there, because what you see there is what I see in my office. It's absolutely 100% live. So once we download it, it goes up onto the web. We all watch it together. What is great about our results, it'll tell you what areas have come in. Starting at 9 p.m., we'll have the early mail balloting, and also the early voting will be uploaded onto the website. So you can check that out. Now, we do have opportunities for mail ballots to come in up to 7 days after Election Day, as long as they're postmarked tomorrow. So if you still have a ballot in your hand, make sure it gets postmarked tomorrow and received by 7 days. I would actually advise, if you can, bring it down to one of your polling sites and put it in a box that we have there. We have a little blue ballot bag at every polling site. You can put your ballot there, and then it will count as long as you do it before 9 p.m. So I advise that if you're trying to do it this late, because the mail has been the mail. And sometimes there are postmarks, sometimes there aren't. They're supposed to postmark it, but if you're waiting till today, I'm going to advise you, my best advice is to go in there on to your polling place or down to us here at the Board of Elections and do it. No passive electioneering. Do not wear anything supporting a candidate that is on the ballot. Do not talk to people inside of the polling place. trying to influence their vote. Let everyone make their choice. And then finally, primaries are hard. They're not easy elections. You know, in the general election, we kind of we all go to our sides, Democrat versus Republican, and we know who we're fighting against and who we want to lead. Primaries are a battle among friends. It's a civil war. It's like the old Abraham Lincoln quote: "We are not enemies, but friends." And you know, I believe that. I'm publicly neutral in all primaries. You can scour my Facebook pages, Twitters. You'll never see that I've endorsed a candidate. I won't do it in a primary, and I don't really do it in the general. But everybody knows I'm a Democrat. They know I'm going to be supporting Democrats. That being said, whoever is victorious tomorrow, be gracious, and whoever loses, accept the results and support the Democrat, because that is what the voters want. We are here to do what the voters want. That's why we run, to support and uphold the wishes of the people who are putting us into office. And one of those wishes is the first step is to be the standard bearer. And if you are in a primary and the voters have decided that your opponent is the one who should be the standard bearer, it is best to accept those results. You don't have to endorse them, but it's best to accept those results. That being said, if it's a close race within 0.5%, we are going to have a hand count. It'll happen after July 4th. That's about the timeline for that. If the race is within 0.5%, it's also possible that outstanding mail ballots may influence the race. So if it's within 0.5%, I don't think you can declare a winner either. So that's really all I have to say. I want to say thank you for participating if you've already voted or going to participate tomorrow. Please make us work. We want to work. We want to have a busy day and count your votes and make sure that we have a safe, fair, and reliable election. Thank you again. And go out and vote. Bye-bye.